Welcome back. Welcome to another lecture. Today we're going to talk about JavaScript arrays and about data structures. So JavaScript are one of the most basic form of data structures. Okay, now before I start explaining, just let's create the first array called first array. Wow, that was pretty nice. So how we know that we're creating array? Well, we need to use these brackets, and inside array we can have one, we can have 0 or multiple items. Now, if we don't specify any items, this is only the declaration of an empty array. Okay, now, but if we want to have an items inside, we can have multiple items. In this case, I'm going to use 3 strings. So I'm just going to name them first. And they need to be spaced with the comma. Enter. Oops. Now you need to put quotes. So single quotes or double quotes will do a job. Right? Very good. Now, these are called items inside the array. But how we can access them? Well, I'm just going to make your life easy in console.log the first array. Save it, go back into the browser, and there you go. So we have first, second, third, and the length of the entire array is 3. Now, look at this side. Well, we have here starts from 0, 1, 2. So these are called indexes. So our arrays are based on indexes. So they work with starting from 0. That's why when we do the for loop, remember, we used variable I to be equal to 0. So we initialized variable I to hold a value to start from 0. And why is this? Well, now we can you will know, because when we use an array, we can print out probably this part, not probably, first element with using the index. So let me close this one because it's flicking all the time. Right. Sorry about this, guys. Save it. We don't need it. Now, how I can access the first item of this array? Well, I do know the indexes. So console.log first array, I need to put the brackets and the position. Now I know the position because it started from 0. Okay, very good. First, let me just write here a comment, get the first item from an array. Nice. I'm just gonna copy this one and I'm gonna do it 2 times, second and third. Very good. Now, in order to get the second one, you put here, 1, and you need to get the last one, that is the third, you need to put here 2. Now I have all of these items stored like this, but it's very good idea not to use console.log, just to create var first variable with any name that you want, and just put first array of 0. Now, instead of console.log the first array, you can console.log the first variable, and you can reuse it later on, right? So it will yield the same result. So let me just copy this one, make a comment here, comment out this one, and I'm doing this because you will know what we have done in the class. Second, and that will be the first array of 1, and I'm just gonna copy this, put it here, and let's call it third, and this will be number 2. Very good. So I'm gonna console.log the third, and also I need to do the same with the second one. Nice. Very good. Save it. Now I have the same results. Yeah, we spent a little bit of time of explaining this, but it's all good. Now the arrays, we can store multiple values, but can we store a different data in JavaScript types? Yes, and we can store any data, any JavaScript type that we want, and that is called a mixed array. But it's never good to have a mixed array. Why? Because the data structures are all about relationship between those data that we put inside, right? So it's gonna be easy for us to navigate through that data if we use something like this. If we use array that is with strings, or if you use array of numbers. Okay. Now, let's create this mixed array, var mix array, and now this array can hold 1, 2, 3, 4, right? True, false. So it can have numbers, strings, booleans, and also we can have a function. So function mix, very good. Console.log mix. How cool is this? Now the function can have, oops, I didn't call this function, console.log mix array, very good. And now we have 7 items. We do have 1, 2, 3, they're numbers and they're blue. 4, then we have Boolean values, 4 and 5. This is a string. And we have the last one, it's function, right? Oh, good. Now, you know that the mixed array can have a different JavaScript type. Very good. Now, what is something else that I want to show you? Well, now you know how you can create a mixed array. So let's move on to something more interesting. An array can have inside another array, and that is very interesting. For example, let's create array var called inner array, or R only. That is a short version. Now here I'm just gonna say Rick, and inside I will have another array with my details. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be, for example, student ID. Then I will have place of living or country. But in order to specify another array inside this array, you need to use again these brackets. Let's console log the inner array and see what I will have. Very good. Now here says that I have Rick as a string, and then I have array of 3 elements. Nice. So if you go like this, on the first position, I will have that array. So for example, if I want to grab that inner array, or inner array, or just new array here, I'm just going to call it new array. Very good. And I want to grab only this one. So how I can do this? Inner array of a position 1, because in that position, that is the position where this inner array is stored on index 1. Very good. So if I console log the new array now, I will have the only one single array here. Very good. Now basically what I can do, I can just grab any item from here based on the position 0, 1, 2, 3. But even here, even if I don't save it anywhere, I can still grab it. For example, the inner array, so I'm gonna say let's grab Melbourne here, right? Let's find Melbourne from the inner array. Very good. So how we can do this without storing this to a new array? Now I'm just gonna say console, because I use caps lock, console.log, and let's start like this, inner array again, and it will give me this. Now I just want to access the number 1. Very good. Save it. Now it will get me the entire array, and now I can just click here and see that the Melbourne is on position 1. So how I can get that position? Well, here I can put another pair of bracket and put number 1, and let's save it. Now I do have the item called Melbourne. Nice. So you can practice this one, and it's very easy to understand. Now JavaScript comes with predefined methods for the arrays, and we can use them straight out of the box. Well, for that, in order to show you JS predefined methods, well, I need to create an array, for example, colors. And this will be a little bit a writing for me. The second will be orange. The third will be blue. Then it will be brown. The fourth will be black. They will start with B. Then yellow. Then I will have a green color, And the last, I want to have a purple. Very good. Now, I will use, let's console.log the array to see what's happening. Console.log the colors. That's the name of the array, semicolon there. And I do have the entire array holding 8 items, starting from position 0 or index 0. Nice. So, first method that I want to show you, it's called shift. And what does this shift means? Shift will remove the 0 indexed from this array. So the 0 is red. Okay, so how I can use this method? So I need to use colors, the name of the array, then shift, and because it's a method, I need to use these brackets. Save it, do it like this, console.log. Remember that you need to log the, not console, colors, again the array, in order to see the changes. And voila, I do have 7 now, and the red is missing, and orange became 0, and before I have, before I had red to be 0, right? And we should have here the red as a 0, and I'm not sure why it's not checking out. Doesn't matter. So the orange now became 0, and it's not, the red is not in the items. And here you can see the size, it's 7. Very good. Now, let's cut this one from here and test it out a little bit and see what will happen. So if I just, you don't need a semicolon inside. So if you save this one and go back, now it will give me the red, or the item I just removed from the, or the item that I shift or remove, take it out from here, from this array. So this gives me an option for me. So I can create a variable called red, because I know that the red is the name of the first item, and I can just do this. Save it here. Very good. Now, in that variable red, it will hold the item. So if I do red now, again, I will have the value of what is stored from this function. So now just print out the colors again. So now I take one item, but I also store that item here just in case I will need them in future. Very good. Another method that I want to show you is called unshift. So these methods will add a new item at the beginning of the array, or it's totally opposite to the shift one. Actually, I'm just going to copy the entire one. I'm just going to put it here, and shift will be unshift. Very good. So colors, unshift, and now what item I want to put here. So this should be unshift. Very good. Now for the unshift, we need to specify what we want to put in the beginning of the array. Well, I just want to put the item that I just removed. Let's see if it's gonna work. Nice. Now I do have 8, 7 with the shift, and now I do have back the entire array. Also, what you can do, you can make a comment here and saying here shift, and this one saying unshift. Also make sure that you put a comma there. So shift removes one item, unshift adds item, and we added the same one that we just removed. Very good. Now, how we can remove the last element from this array, for example, the purple. Well, there is a function for that, or a method called pop. So we're going to use the pop method to remove the last item of the array. Now, what we're going to do here, I'm going to say colors dot pop and console.log, and I will say pop, and colors again. We need to print out the array in order to see if it's working. Well, I do have 7 and I don't have the purple anymore, and that is great. But also pop, it pops the item from the array, and I can store that one as last. So var purple Very good. So now we just removed, and also we stored this one. So if you want to make sure that the correct color purple is there, just console.log the purple variable. Okay, let's see. Very good. I do have the purple. Now I'm good to go. So it's always good to store whatever you are popping or shifting. So in future, if you want to return them back, you can, right? Now, if you want to return this item, we can push this one back to the array. So we can push anything that we want, but this will add the new item at the end. So logically is to push the purple back. Very good. Now I'm just gonna copy this one here, and we don't need this one anymore. Oops, we don't need this one anymore, but we need to use the push method. And the push method requires an argument. Which argument is that? The purple variable from here. Now this will be push. Very good. Now I do have my original array back, because first we shift one, then we unshift that one, then we pop the last one, then we return that one with the push method back to its place. Very good. So we have learned a couple of methods. Now another one that is very interesting is, and it's very vital, everyone is using it, it's called sort. Now we can sort the array. So colors, let's me console.log colors.sort, and that is pretty much it. You need the brackets there. Let's put it here, comment sort, because we do want to know what we are doing. Very good. Now sort, and we do have black, blue, brown, green. This is sorting alphabetically. Good. So couple of more things that I want to show you is that we can concatenate on arrays. Same as we concatenate strings, we can concatenate arrays. Well, let's do this. I want to add pink to this array. So how I can do this? Let's say concat here. Now colors dot concat, here it is, the method, and I can add pink. Save it, console.log colors. Now this should add a pink. Wait, yep, here it is. Now let me just make sure that I use concat here, and now it's gonna be more readable. But what is happening? Where is the pink? Well, the pink is not there. Why? Because we just concat the colors with the pink, but we never save it or store it in these colors. So the solution is very easy. So what I can do, I can say, I'm just gonna comment this one out, and I'm gonna copy it. Now in order to save it, we need to use colors equal to colors.concat.ping. Now in this array, in the original array that I have here, I saved the new one with the pink color inside. So save it, and now I'm just gonna print it out. And there you go. Now you do have the pink color there. And that's it for this lecture, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to, if you didn't understand some things, just go watch this lecture again. But this is pretty much it. There are more of these methods, but I can't do all of them. So what you need to do is pretty much go to V3 schools and just find or research about other methods that we can use on arrays, and they're pretty fine. Now do the exercise. It will require you to do a little bit of searching online, and that's the goal, so you can find more things and practice. So I will see you in the next one. Sorry this was super long, but it had to be done. Bye.